Hello and welcome to an operating guide to lovely camper vans. Hope you have a lovely holiday, I'm sure you will. This is a fairly amateurish video, so do forgive me. Anyway, firstly we have a fridge here, reasonably large, with a little freezer compartment as well for ice, etc. Well, not too many etceteras, but etc. Now the fridge can operate in 3 different ways. So at the top is off, then there's a picture of a plug, so when you're hooked up to the electricity you point it to that. You turn it to the picture of a battery. Now that's only if you're traveling and when the engine's actually running. If you're on standstill and the engine's not on, then it's not going to work. And if you're neither of those two, you put it to the gas option, and then you need to press the gas button in whilst igniting it. You can hear it firing up, and at the same time you see the little red indicator. It starts going into the green. Once it's there, I can take my finger off the gas release and you're up and running on the gas. Now you can actually hear it, just to double check. Now with the gas I generally turn it off at night and just let the fridge maintain its own coldness. There is a carbon monoxide and it is gas tested, but just to be on the extra safe side, I suggest that. Moving into the toilet wet room. So there's a shower, it's actually down there at the moment, and on the top of the shower there's a little button there, so it just sort of economizes on the amount of water you use, and then the power and hot and cold. Toilet, the lever at the front here, side here. Now push it to the back of the vehicle, that just opens up the pan inside to do your business. Then flush, and then close the pan by putting it back to the front of the vehicle. There's a little indicator on the side there. When that starts going red, it means it's full, and I'll show you a little later how to empty that. There's a basin and a little cupboard. There's a shower curtain with various different poppers around the side to stop it from attacking you. Now there may well be a little sponge here, because actually if you do use the shower, it's a wet room, it gets wet, you probably want to dry it. That's the only sort of disadvantage. Moving on to the rest of the vehicle, there's a television here with a DVD in the side, and you'll just have to auto-tune it every time you arrive somewhere. So there's a little button there, quick start, and then auto-tune, just because you're in a different area every time you land somewhere. There's an aerial which is in there. If you don't get reception there, which is most likely, and just put it out the window and put it on the roof. It's got a magnetic bottom to it, so that's great. All the windows can open. There's a little button there, press that and then you can turn that. And I just remember to close the windows when you move, and that applies for the back skylight as well. Just they need to be shut down when you take off. There's insect screen and blinds. Now, there's blinds on all the windows apart from the 2 side windows and the windscreen, and you'll find these up here. These blinds they sucker on from the inside of the window. The table, now you can move it slightly left and right. You just need to tilt it by about 15-20 degrees and then slide it either right or left. You can take it off and put it in the back. Most people, pretty much everybody, travels with people in the back seats with it actually up, which is legal. There is a leaf down here. You pull that button there, and then this side leaf comes around for the person that's sitting here. You'll find some storage space under the bench seat. Storage is always the eternal problem, and my suggestions are that, I mean, there is a cupboard here hanging, but a lot of stuff just goes, if you see underneath, when the bed comes over, there's space underneath, and you put some stuff on top of it, and then when you arrive somewhere you can always decide to either put it outside, or when these chairs are turned around, there's area in the footwells to put stuff. Other alternatives, a pop-up tent outside or underneath the tent, underneath the van. So both these chairs twiddle around. You'll just need to, there's a bar in the front, they just need to pull them forward, whichever direction they're facing. And then there's a little, it's locked at the moment, so I unlock it, I turn it around, presto. Now that the same rule applies. If you're going to put it back to the driving position, then just move it all the way forward and then turn it. Reason being, especially for the driver's seat, the handbrake is just down there. You bend the handbrake if you don't move it forward first. So not much to say about the workings in the front. There's a little button here. You can lock it at night from inside. There is sat nav and digital radio. They're not the best in the world, but they just about suffice. There's a USB point there. Likewise, there's a USB point just under the shelf there by the back seat, and just under the shelf there's another point there. Otherwise you're reliant. No, sorry, yes, actually, the actual sockets that are around the place, they're 240 volts, so you're only ever able to use those if you're plugged into the mains supply. You're hooked up to the electricity, otherwise you're reliant on the 12-volt battery. There is, under the visor here, there's a breakdown number. Do call that. Now obviously call us, and we'll help as much as we can. Just on that point, now they're all new vehicles, a year old, and generally speaking they work pretty well, but there are always times when things decide to break down. There's a myriad of parts in the van, you know, from ovens to fridges to everything. They can decide not to work. Now if that is the case, then obviously call us, and if you're on a campsite or somewhere like that, the best people are the campsites that you're actually at. They know a local person, a mobile person who can come out and fix it, and hopefully that will do the trick. Be it in July and August, they're incredibly busy, so you do have to plead your case with them to get them to come out. But hopefully that won't be the case. 90% of the time it's not. You know, they work pretty well, but I do apologise if anything does break, and we will do our best to get you up and running, but hopefully that won't be the case. So that's pretty much it in front of the vehicle. Now moving up to the dials. So this is your power switch. If you want to go out, turn everything off, just turn it off like that. Likewise, turn it back on. That's a light. This is your water pump. That just turns all your water pump on, so you can use your taps, the shower and the toilet flusher. That's another light. Now this one is just information. It scrolls around about 8 times. In the moment it just tells you that there's no fresh water and the wastewater is empty. If I scroll it around, you come to them. They're all fairly uninteresting. Doesn't mean anything until you get to the leisure battery. This one's poor. It is the winter and it's been sitting around. And then the vehicle battery. It's just telling you how much power there is in them. Now they are linked up to the solar battery. When you're also plugged into the electricity, they charge up both batteries, and when you're driving along, both batteries get charged up. You should never really have any problem with batteries, power, fuel, etc. It's just really actually the two things that you do need are to empty the toilet and then fill up with water. But power shouldn't be an issue. They all run off. They're pretty economical in energy. So this is your heating and hot water. So picture of a drop of water and a thermometer, so your hot water, and then this one's your heating. So I approach it and they turn themselves on. For the heating, I just press it, the plus sign, all the way up. That's 30 degrees if I want it not so hot. The moon, there's a picture of a moon there, that's 16 degrees if you wanted it to tick over at night. So fix your temperature, and then you've got a gas option or electricity. So I push the gas, it's blue. Now when it starts, it takes a bit of time to get going, but it goes from blue to an orange colour, which means you're up and running. Now on occasions you might get a little exclamation mark, literally where my fingernail is, in orange. If that does happen, you need to, there's some problem in the system. You need to reboot the system. So there's a little D-shaped button here. If you press it on the top of it for 3 seconds, it reboots it and the exclamation mark should disappear. You can see now that the blue light has gone to orange. That means you're up and running. Same applies to the water. Plus, 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 plus. Well, actually don't plus it. As the water starts heating up, it goes all the way around here. It takes about half an hour to get piping hot. Again, you've got a gas option, electricity option. The exclamation mark can appear here. So again, just reboot it with this little button here. Hopefully that will get things up and running. Now, the only caveat on this is that when you're powering it down, so if you want to go out, if you stopped the hot water, you minus it and minus this, you then have to, then you can tap the gas sign, that turns it off. Likewise the electricity. The heating system and the hot water, they have a fan. You'll hear a fan noise just down here where this grill is. If you hear it whirring away, it's still trying to cool the system down. So don't turn the power off until that fan has stopped. So when you hear the fan stopping, it may take a few minutes, then you're okay to go. If you turn the power off before it's cooled down, you can lock you out of the system, which is not great. So you'll find cutlery, bits and pieces in there, plates, etc. There's an oven and grill, self-explanatory, and 2-burner hob, and there's to be some pots and pans in there. It's pretty much inside. So moving outside, there's an awning. It's actually not a very nice day today, but and I shouldn't really have the awning out, but as it's a demonstration of it. So you need to close the door to put the awning out. You'll find this just above the cab. Stick it in there, and then let the awning go out, and then you'll find 2 legs. This one's still in here. It's slightly sprung loaded, so push it that way and then it comes down. I would hold on to this middle bit here, because otherwise the leg has a tendency to swing out and then go down the side of the van. So just hold on to that, put it out. There's a little catch there, do it to whatever level you want, and then just push that button up and it fixes the leg. Now the manufacturer says winds of more than 20 miles an hour, don't have it out because it will rattle. It goes out about 3 meters, so quite a long way, but if the wind is more than 20 miles an hour, it can flap about. So moving on, water, you just stick your hose pipe in there, and when it's full, you'll hear and see some overflow pipes underneath here where the water tank is spilling out. That's just your cue to know that you're full. It's about 100 litres, but it's surprising how much water we do use. Gas and diesel, diesel is there. Now the remit is it goes out full and comes back full. Likewise, it goes out clean on the outside and clean on the inside, and it should come back the same way. Now there's AdBlue here. It will flash up on the dash if you need to fill the AdBlue, which is just an additive to clean the emissions. There's no telling how much is in there, but if it does flash up, you just need to get some from a petrol station, 5 litres, and put it in there. Now you don't have to hurry. You do have a number of miles to get to the petrol station before you need to worry about it. That's that. So moving around, here's the bed. Now obviously if you're only 2 people, that top bunk won't be in there. You can see there's a fire alarm and a carbon monoxide. Just also for your information, underneath here is the fuse box with various different flip fuses and RCD. Now the bed, you just pull that out there. That cushion goes on there. This one comes out to here, and that cushion goes on there. There are 2 bars. That one goes across there. Now, it should have fridge written on it because it's slightly longer than this one, and then this one goes in these 2 points here across there. There's a bit of storage space in there. So your leisure battery, just for your information. And in here there's a bit of chemical toilet stuff, sort of half a cap full every time you empty the toilet. I'll show you that in a moment. There's a cable and a length of hose pipe as well. When closing these doors, just remember the left hand one closes first and then the right hand one, otherwise you will make a dent there if you do it the wrong way around. So, toilet. So there's a couple of catches here, there and there. Just put your thumbs on them, open them. Trapdoor comes down. That's your toilet. There's a little catch underneath there. Pull that up. And it comes out very, very easily. If for some reason or other it doesn't, it will probably mean that your toilet is open up there. So just run around and close it, and then you'll be able to pull it out easily. Then it's just a question of pulling that up, undoing that, and then at the campsites you'll find a place just to empty it, and then I fill it with about that much of water in the bottom. Put the lid back on, sluice it around every which way just to clean it. I'll probably do that a second time. Sometimes I might put a bit of bleach in there just to sluice it around, then empty it, and then before you put it back, put half a capful of chemical toilet stuff in there, and then literally just slide it back in. There's your drainage pipe. Halfway around to the right, clockwise, is off, and then that's open. Now there is a clip under here. I generally just unclip it if I'm in a campsite, leave it open, and it just sort of dribbles out. It's only ever going to be soapy water, so pretty non-offensive stuff, but it's up to you. Yeah. So here's your hookup point, cable in the back, just slip the cable in there. There's a lid on top of that, so the lid goes in there. And likewise, when you want to pull it out, you push that down, it flips the lid up. So LPG, there's a little indicator here just by the knee, the steering wheel. Just when the ignition's on, it just shows you in standstill. It lies when you're moving around, solutions around. In standstill, it just shows you how much it is. You know, it should go out with hopefully with at least half a tank full. You know, I mean, that can last you a good old week, even if you've got the heating, hot water, fridge, and cooking. So it won't run out. The only pain is that actually it's trying to get hold of it. There are fewer and fewer places that seem to do it. So best to Google, find my nearest LPG, and most likely just phone them as well, and see that they've got some in stock, and then you'll drive up to the pump. You'll see some instructions on the pump. And literally, there's a pump. You put it on there. There's a locking sort of sleeve. You lock it on, and you pull the pump. You press a button on the pump, and it starts filling. And as it gets full, it starts slowing down until it stops when it's full. It's about 15 quid from completely empty to full. So it's no cost. It's just a pain to try and find. Just to lock it, you'll see the bottom here opens it. The bottom one there opens a sliding door on the side and the back doors. The top one is for the front two doors, and the middle one is to lock it. What quite often happens is when you close the sliding door, it doesn't quite close. There's a little bit of a gap there. So when I lock it, the indicators just flash. In order for it to lock, you need to redo that slide door, and then you'll hear it clunk. Look it. Clunk. Likewise, when you're on the dash, it will say your back doors are open, and 90% of the time it's going to be that sliding door slightly open. So don't go and slam the back doors. Just attempt to close the sliding door. That is the end of the tour. I hope you have a lovely holiday, and it's a better day than it is today. Apologies again for the amateurish filming. Thank you.